Hi there, I'm Dustin. In today's video, I'm going to read a document that I had written a while back. I actually started it in 2018, but I think most of it was written in 2019 and 2020. And I've made a few changes since then, so I might kind of interrupt that in the video, but I just wanted to read through it, so this video is going to be a little bit different than the previous videos I've made. But I'd love to hear your comments because I'm going to go through and edit this document and probably make videos section by section talking about each kind of different topic. So, um, pardon any mistakes I make as I'm reading, but I'm just going to go through this and let's give it a start. And so I have this titled An Essay with question mark about group relationships. In the world, there's no one-size-fits-all way to live. Every person is unique and has their own preferences, desires, goals, fears, histories, and futures. For a person to pursue happiness, they must be able to seek what they feel will bring them that happiness and determine from seeking it what does and doesn't actually lead to it. An important part of life that adds to its depth, meaningfulness, and joy is the relationships that are formed. And relationships, like the individuals in them, come in many forms: family, friends, lovers, enemies, acquaintances, neighbors, co-workers, etc. For many, finding the love of their life is the most important relationship. And for the many of those who find love, it grows into a family where lovers become parents and find a new way of loving a new generation. As has become increasingly clear in the last couple generations, there is a large group in society who find in their quest for happiness the romantic relationships that bring them happiness are not of the nature that will lead naturally to having children. Is there a way that gay individuals can find a way to form their own families that will bring many of the joys and other benefits that naturally come from a family unit? And then this is a little thing I added, so I'll do this when I have things in parentheses. Men tend to be less inclined to committed relationships and monogamy than women. Is it possible that the limits of monogamy are part of what make men less interested in wanting to make relationship commitments? A difficult part of seeking a partner is realizing that one person must fulfill so many desired requirements and preferences, and realizing that they too must fulfill so many expectations of their partner. The stress of this can become an issue that leads to inaction, indecision, and non-commitment. And in selecting a single partner, some different characteristics that one finds attractive cannot possibly be fulfilled by a single person. For example, if a person is attracted to various races, tall and short, and other such physical characteristics, it is impossible for any single partner to be those various things. With monogamy being the expectation in a straight society, this has naturally led to monogamous relationships being the desire and goal for many gay people. While there is possibly more experimentation and variation in the arrangements for gay relationships compared to straight relationships, it seems that even open gay relationships still center on two partners who then get involved with others either together or individually. But it seems in general, a gay man will experience a number of relationships that are either monogamous or centered on one other person. On occasion, a third person might become involved with two partners, and a three-person relationship may develop. These seem to seldomly last long from talking to those who have tried them. A majority-minority situation will form between three people in any situation of divided opinion, and the minority is immediately by themselves if the third person picks a side. Just to explain that quickly, if you have three people and you have two different opinions, as soon as the third person picks one of the opinions, then suddenly the one person is by themselves and the other two are together. So a three-way relationship seems to have some innate instability built into it. I'll go back on to the document. On even rarer occasions, four people might join together. This seems to add an interesting dynamic, which might lead to more stability, as can be seen when we look at how stability improves from three-legged stools and three-wheeled vehicles compared to four-legged stools and four-wheeled vehicles. Is it possible that with a relationship of men committed to the group and each other, these men will be able to find the fulfillment of a relationship, the benefits of a family, the strength of a group, and the freedom to still be oneself? A fundamental principle, we must understand that the basic unit of any group, cooperative, relationship, organization, family, etc., is the individual. The rights and value of each individual must be respected. If a person can voluntarily join in a group, they must also have the freedom to leave it. If they are able to delegate personal responsibility or power to others, they must also be able to reclaim that responsibility of the power that they shared. When certain agreements and commitments have been negotiated and made, they should be respected, but there should also be ways for these agreements to be fulfilled or undone through further negotiation. So basically, if you get yourself into a situation, you should be able to get out of it. And if there are agreements that have been made, like in any contract, there might be penalties or things that have to happen before the contract can be finished. But I guess I'm looking at it a little bit contractually in that paragraph. So back to the document. A primary benefit of a family is the love and connection that grows between each member. These relationships can become the most valuable and precious things in a person's life. Some people might suppose that connections might not be as strong as in polyamorous relationship as compared to a monogamous relationship. But love and care is not a resource that is limited in the same way physical objects or time are limited. Does a spouse automatically lose their ability to love their partner as much once they have children? Of course not. When nurtured properly, the love usually increases from having an additional point of connection. It is not uncommon for a large family with many children to have stronger connections than a small family. Love does not have to be limited. Continuing with this idea of love, care, and support within a family, life inevitably brings highs and lows, good times and bad times, easy and challenging phases, blissful moments and stressful moments. These variations can come from external sources or may be a result of the relationships themselves. But whatever the events, having others to share them with can amplify the positive and bring deeper meaning to the negative. New jobs or losing jobs, health problems, achieving goals, losing a loved one, etc. In all cases, having family around to support those going through the experience can contribute to those experiences being more meaningful. In a monogamous relationship, the shared weight of a challenge, while somewhat distributed, can still be burdensome for both. It should be acknowledged that the difficult times also enrich the two-person partnerships as well. Close parentheses. When there are more people involved, there will be some who can associate and assist with certain scenarios better than others, and a single individual is not always expected to bear the burdens of another. In fact, if one individual is feeling overburdened from helping someone, there are others whom they can diffuse the stress without reflecting the emotion back onto the individual they were trying to help, which can often be difficult to address directly. I'll have to go through that in a future video. For example, if person A loses their job and is looking for another person, this is in parentheses. If person A loses their job and is looking for another, person B is trying to help. If person B is feeling overwhelmed by helping person A, then person B can talk to person C and D instead of only having person A to talk to about that stress, which then might further upset person A, who's already stressed out as well. Close parentheses. And this then leads to probably the most difficult part of any relationship, when a person leaves the relationship. In a monogamous relationship, this dissolves the entire relationship, whether it's voluntary or involuntary, as in death. In a group, if two individuals need to disassociate for a while, that can be discussed. The others can lend support to those who need it, and if someone does leave the relationship, they will have chosen it, and those who remain will still have the connection with the others to help through the difficulty. Economics are a part of life. We must work to survive. We must find ways to get food, shelter must be obtained, and we must exchange our time, energy, and other resources to obtain things we need and want. Humans can survive individually, but as a species, we have evolved to be cooperative, and through this cooperation, each individual benefits. In parentheses, the concept of voluntarism must be understood and specified at this point. Cooperation requires each person to agree to the situation, and it is much easier to go from surviving to thriving when individuals voluntarily work towards common goals. Close parentheses. The economist Adam Smith wrote about the idea of division of labor, which idea also can be applied to a group relationship. When work is divided into pieces, people can choose the tasks most favorable, and through diversity, more can be accomplished at the same time that each individual can avoid the tasks they least care for. I'll go through this in future videos as well. Side comment. In a household, there are many types of work that must be done. Money must be made for the house payments, bills, food, supplies, etc. Home maintenance, cooking, cleaning, management of the property, paying bills, and so much more has to be done. In a traditional family, the two parents must manage all this in addition to raising and teaching the kids. So in a gay family group, there could easily be a lot more input into the expenses through each or most of those involved contributing to the expenses, while also not bearing the expenses of children. If some members of the group enjoyed management of the house and preferred to not be employed outside the home, it could be arranged for them to care for the house duties, while those who cared less for those responsibilities could earn income and contribute that way. Members could also work together earning money. I had a friend that commented on this paragraph before, so I wanted to quick talk about that. Because he was saying that he doesn't want to be with a freeloader, and that is not what I meant by that situation. I just meant that if the group decides that having someone at the house to manage things would be a greater benefit to the whole group, and everyone agrees to that, then that could be arranged. But of course, everyone should be contributing however they can to the group. Okay, back to the document. The efficiency of cooperation and economies of scale could also apply to a family group. Cooking is one good area to examine this idea. For single people, they cook and clean up for themselves. With a couple, one of them can do these things for two people with little more effort than it takes to do for themselves. The efficiency increases as the number of people increases, as well as options for taking turns and distributing the work in a way that increases the benefits. And buying the food and other things in large quantities generally results in better prices. The cost savings for housing would be even more impressive. Other expenses could also be shared, such as vehicles, tools, equipments for sports and hobbies, etc. In each situation, there would be savings that accumulate and compound. Okay, then I have the paragraph where I go through a situation about like how if everyone's individually paying $1,000 for rent for apartments and you have 10 people, then cumulatively they could be paying $10,000 towards one property, and 10 $1,000 a month properties are going to be pretty basic, as opposed to a $10,000 a month property is going to be very nice. So I have a paragraph about that. I'll go through that on a future video. Back to the document. What are some obvious challenges and difficulties of such an arrangement? First of all, complication. With more people, every situation has more variables, and while it's clear this is manageable in normal families, adding the dimension of intimacy could certainly be more difficult to deal with. But as is the case in any relationship, when certain principles are respected, it makes it possible to work through the challenges. Communication, respect for the individuality and needs of each person, honesty, etc., would be especially essential in a group relationship, as they are in a monogamous relationship. Other people accepting the arrangement, or rejecting rather, could be another issue. This is certainly a situation where it must be recognized that the opinions and actions of others cannot be controlled. Or I'm going into stoicism here. Back to the document. But they could be influenced by how interactions with others are handled. Being friendly, helpful, outgoing, honest, considerate could help friends, families, and neighbors be more open and accepting of the relationship of unusual size. If there were cases of others unwilling to accept it, there would be defensive strength in numbers, and obviously the inner social network of the group itself would be a source of connection, even if the rest of the world rejected it. In any group, central planning and expectations of others can become a problem. It would be unwise to have too many specific rigid rules for a family group arrangement. Having a few common rules and principles that are understood and agreed upon by each person could provide structure to build on without making the situations too inflexible. It seems having decentralized control would work best as well in the long run, instead of one or two individuals controlling everything. And it should be understood that power in decentralized systems will constantly be moving around, which could create problems, but always relying on the basic fundamentals of good behavior in any relationship would likely keep the problems from getting out of control. Other benefits beyond the social, emotional, and economics would be wide, varied, and unpredictable at times. Sleeping and intimate arrangements and preferences will be different from person to person and from time to time. It would probably be best for each individual to have a personal bedroom. If individuals want to spend time with others that can be agreed upon, but each person would manage their own personal situation based on their preferences and agreements with others. But with several people, the chances to find others that have compatibility preferences increases, where in monogamous relationship, the options are highly limited. I don't know what that paragraph just said. I'll go through it again in the future. Extended family and community is an enriching and important part of life. With time and money being saved through cooperative benefits of the family group, the individuals would have greater resources and availability to be a benefit to their parents, siblings, extended family, friends, and neighbors. Oh, so that's basically the end of the paragraph. That's probably why that last one didn't make sense, because I was trying to wrap up and I don't know. I have a few notes that I know I added from when I originally wrote this, and that's under the section called Things to Ponder. And I say, why not just a social network of friends and having financial benefits? Next topic, extended family, dealing with holidays, family coming to visit, going to visit family, the number of in-laws. That can be as you get more and more people, that can grow considerably quickly. Next topic, settling into a group relationship and adjusting might be fairly turbulent. And yeah, this is a problem that, as I've been talking about this idea, it seems just establishing it is quite tricky, because there isn't much of a network of people openly discussing this idea, knowing that others are also interested in it. So that's what I'm trying to do with this channel. Next topic for things to ponder, monogamy, two people who only have sex with each other within the group. Oh, so this would be that if you had a group of 10 people and two of the people decided that they want to be monogamous, or maybe as you're forming the group, there's a monogamous couple that wants to be part of the social aspect of the group, but they want to remain monogamous. What's kind of the situation there? So, variables like that are countless. So I just had written that as a note to think about further. And my final things to ponder further that I have written here. Guys who grow up with dysfunctional families or don't have siblings and nieces and nephews, etc., will, with a group, have an opportunity to inherit new extended family. So that's what I've got for the thing. There's a lot of other thoughts that are coming from this, but yeah, just to keep it at that length, I will go through the topics more point by point and subject by subject, paragraph by paragraph in the future. I'll be editing this document and trying to clarify some of the things that aren't so clear, and I've had further thoughts. I've talked to quite a few people. I actually started sharing this document probably about 2 years ago. I started sharing it with people online, and I've gotten some feedback and need to do some more adjustments. So that's the video. I hope you had some ideas from it. Please share your thoughts. Go ahead and like and subscribe, as is always the case in these YouTube videos. And thank you very much for your time, and have a good one.